A BC Supreme Court judge will now decide if the will of Janet Henry, an 84-year-old North Vancouver woman who left her $1 million fortune to a male escort in his 20s who she'd been seeing in the final months of her life, will stand, or if that money will go to her last beneficiary, her former personal trainer, or her closest living relatives, a niece and nephew in Australia. Candice Cho is a wills and estates lawyer in Vancouver who isn't part of the case but has read the court filings.
I think the facts in this case are more unique than my usual cases, although it's not uncustomary to have somewhat dramatic facts. We kind of joke about how it's kind of like soap operas for the dead.
The court documents outline how Henry hired Simon Garston to provide companionship and sexual services in the final year of her life. 3 months before she died in November 2021, she made him the sole beneficiary of her will, and he inherited $1 million. Henry's niece and nephew argue their aunt was unduly influenced by Garston.
They are essentially saying that she was coerced to do something against her will. Essentially, that's what undue influence is.
The niece and nephew aren't asking the judge to throw out their aunt's entire will, just her gift to the escort, because Henry's previous will didn't name them as beneficiaries either.
It was a former personal trainer that she had a close relationship with, but who presumably was also much younger than her at the time. I did the math. It looked like she was 72 when she met him, and he was much younger than her, and she chose at that time to give her estate to him. And he was added as a party to this action. So really the contest is now between the next of kin and also the former personal trainer friend and the male escort.
Cho says it can be difficult to convince a judge that a person's last wishes shouldn't be followed.
I don't see anything from the case to indicate that there was any declaration of incapacity on her front, despite her advanced age. And so she has the rights of any other person to give her estate to whomever she wants. That's called testamentary freedom. And if she wants to give it to somebody that she has strong affection to, who happens to be her male escort, she has the freedom to do so.
She says it's a case that wills and estates lawyers will be following closely.
Any predictions here?
I don't know. It could go any way. Yeah. It'd be fascinating to read the reasons for judgment.
The Supreme Court judge has set a June 30th trial date in this case, but the former personal trainer, who was the beneficiary before the new will was drafted, has asked for an adjournment so he has time to prepare his case. That hearing will be next week. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.